Well, cool. I would like to get to know you a little bit more. What's one personal story pertaining to mental health which has shaped your life view today? Could you be a little vulnerable with us?
In 2016, my mother was diagnosed with stomach cancer. And so for an entire year, I went through a really difficult and challenging situation. And I don't know if this is exactly what you're looking for, but it's something that really impacted my life. I started flying back and forth between Los Angeles and London to be with her in her chemo sessions. And it was a very difficult time. It was a very challenging time. And there's a lot I could say about what happened during that time. I got to spend time with my mother in a way I had never spent with her. I got to spend time with her in a way I hadn't since I was a kid. I got to be with her for 8 hours in her chemo session, just sitting and talking and loving her. And it was really, really special, really special. And when she passed away, it was really challenging, to thoughts and emotions and a lot going on inside. And I think for me, one thing that ended up impacting my mental health and impacting my thinking, impacting how I felt, because there was a lot of pain, a lot of grief for my mother's passing. One thing that really made a difference in my ability to, shall I say, let go, in my ability to be healthy and whole and not go crazy was my willingness to feel my feelings and my willingness to acknowledge the grief I had. And I think in so many ways, as a culture, we don't realize how we have been conditioned to suppress how we feel. We've been conditioned to suppress our emotions from childhood. We've been conditioned to suppress our pain, our sadness, our anger, our hurt. We're conditioned by maybe parents that say, hey, boys don't cry, or don't be weak. Or we're conditioned to also by let's say advertising media. You switch on the TV and it says, oh, you feel sad, you don't feel great, take this pill. Drink this drink, buy this thing. And so I think we're so conditioned to not feel our emotions that from childhood we start stuffing our feelings, stuffing our emotions, stuffing our pain, our sadness, our shame, and what we don't realize is the feelings that we don't allow ourselves to feel, the feelings that we don't allow ourselves to acknowledge, the feelings that we don't allow ourselves to process, the feelings that we don't allow ourselves to fully express, eventually end up expressing in unhealthy ways. And those unprocessed feelings, emotions, sadness, grief, shame, hurt that we all have from childhood for certain reasons, some of which we're not even conscious of, some of which we've suppressed so deeply that we're not aware of consciously, starts affecting how we feel, our mood, our thinking, and our mental health. And so for me, one of the keys to mental health is the willingness to acknowledge and face and feel your authentic feelings. The willingness to acknowledge and face and feel your feelings, process your feelings, let go of those feelings in a healthy way, because all feelings remain present until fully felt. And many times we're not happy, or we feel depressed, and we don't even know why we feel depressed, and we're not conscious of why we feel depressed. Maybe nothing specific has happened in our life in this moment, but we're not aware that perhaps we're carrying sadness or grief or pain from 10 years ago or 5 years ago, or when we were kids, or when mom and dad, got into a fight and got a divorce. And when we carry this emotion inside of us, stored inside of us, it affects our mental health. It affects our feelings. And many times we end up feeling depressed and we don't know why we're depressed, but depression is often a sign that we've been suppressing feelings. And so one of the things I learned to do when my mother, before that, but when my mother passed away, was I gave myself time to grieve. I gave myself time to feel my feelings. I gave myself time to feel my feelings, to honor the pain, to honor the love, to honor the human level emotions. And I think through the grieving, because grieving happens in layers, it allowed me the opportunity to not hold on to the sadness, to not hold on to the pain, and feel it and let it go, and feel it and let it go, and feel it and let it go. And it was really through that allowing of feeling my feelings fully that I would say I was able to move through that very emotional and difficult time much more quickly, much more quickly. And so that's I could share more, but I'll leave it there.
Yeah, absolutely. Phenomenon how we can process the emotion, but we have to first give us a permission to do that. And as you explain about, stuffing down our emotions, the imagery I get is putting in a refrigerator, the sadness, depression, all of that, and then it becomes frozen until the refrigerator is too full. So sometimes I would blow up sometimes, yeah.
Yes, yes.
That's not healthy. So I think that key message here I hear from you is when we do feel grief based on life circumstances, everybody goes through some challenges. Just feel that, let it thaw, the ice, let it melt, just like that.
Yeah, all feelings remain present until fully felt. And I think because we've been conditioned to not feel, we are afraid to feel because we're afraid that maybe the feelings will last forever and it will never end. We're afraid that those feelings will overwhelm us, they'll break us, we'll collapse into them, and we'll be so overwhelmed that we'll never come out. And so we suppress those feelings. But I think it's important that we realize to have a healthy relationship with feelings is going to affect your mental health, and to have a healthy relationship with your feelings is to feel your feelings. And no feelings are permanent. All feelings are temporary, and every feeling has a natural cycle.